I interviewed you, I guess it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago at LibertyCon when we were at Chattanooga Choo Choo in the pizza parlor after one of your panels.
That was a really good pizza parlor for a restaurant and a train car.
Yeah.
It was really good pizza.
Yeah. And what stood out to me about you at the time, I'd seen you a little bit before that, but you stood out big time to me because it was like, this guy writes and he promotes and he's a great speaker. And the ability to promote, really. Most writers, they might be an introvert, they might not, but the promotion is scary to a lot of people. And it was like I sat there and listened. I was asking questions and stuff, and you let me record it. I ran it on my show. It was great stuff. It was like maybe every fourth, fifth, sixth sentence, it was astoundingly a revelation of obvious wisdom that once I heard it, it was obvious. But
you should link me to that show. I should listen to that again.
Yes. I might need a primer. I don't know.
Right. Apparently I was really smart a few years ago.
It was, I had already listened to you on a panel, so that I knew I needed to interview you again. Actually, I was just wanting to talk to you. And you were saying such great stuff, I had to record it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And
I think that was the first con we'd met.
Yeah, I think maybe it was. And
Probably
it was like the other people in the room started gathering around our table so they could hear your wisdom. It was astounding. And most of it was about ebooks, it was about promotion, it was about logistics, not just the vague sense of how to or you need to do it or something. It was specific.
Right. I find that everybody tells authors you need to do this. You need to promote. Nobody says, okay, this is what specifically you need to do to build a platform to sell books to humans. I was just having this conversation in the bar. New York Publishing doesn't sell books to readers. That's not their market. They sell books to bookstores.
Right.
And the booksellers and librarians recommend books to readers. Small press and self-published authors sell books to readers because print distribution is a very small part of our pie. So I'm trying to connect with as many people who read my books as possible. So I'm not trying to talk to 200 people as the representatives for Barnes and Nobles across the country, or 10,000 people who are librarians, or 50,000 people who are librarians and school librarians. That's not where my marketing focus is. My marketing is on people who read. So everything is based on how do I make my buying decisions? What works for me? So I try to do that. And I was in sales. I was in business-to-business sales before I left that world to write. So I've always sold things.
Ah, okay.
And it all transfers. Just because I'm selling a $20 paperback as opposed to a $20,000 lighting instrument, well, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
I have to find someone who wants it and convince them that mine is the best option for their money. So, same set of skills.
Okay. Yeah. I guess the specificity, that's the one, was what amazed me. It was astounding to hear these revelations after hearing so many times, vague notions about what needs to be done. Yeah.
Also, a lot of times I feel like people are afraid of giving away a secret. They find something that works, and they're worried that if they give it away, then that's money out of their pocket. When in fact the reverse is true. Selling books is not a zero-sum game. If I tell people that Tamara Lowry has a fantastic series on pirates and fantasy literature, and people go out and buy every one of Tamara's books, that does not mean that the next day they're not going to turn around and buy my books. It does, however, mean that the next time I make a post on Facebook saying, hey, I have a new release, Tamara is much more likely to share that post. So the rising tide really does lift all boats. Because once a consumer is predisposed to purchase books, 80% of the job is won. They're already buying books. All I need to do is make them aware of my books, because I have faith in the quality of my product. So I don't ever have to say, well, you don't want to buy this book, it's not good. I don't ever need to say that. I just need to say, here's what I do. Here's what I have for you. Take a look. So if you have faith in your product and you only promote other people who produce quality product, then your readers will have faith in you. And they'll pick up stuff that you're suggesting. So you build, and you all build on each other. And this idea of a book that David Coe sells is a book that I didn't sell. Well, that's empirically correct, because I don't sell David's books. But that doesn't mean that someone who buys his Thief Taker books won't come out and buy all of my Quincy Harker Demon Hunter books. So, yeah, I really feel like sharing the word about things is critically important.
What are your thoughts on cover? I mean, even just going online, looking on books on Amazon, say Kindle books, or even an audiobook, really, it still has a cover.
Absolutely.
And what's your thoughts on the cover? How much quality needs to be there? Does it? I mean, what do you tell people?
I tell people that it doesn't need to represent a scene from the book.
Okay.
I don't feel like it needs to represent a character from the book. And a lot of this is because of the way that we can create covers with our budgets. We tend to do emblematic covers. This thing represents a theme that the book addresses.
I remember an early cover you had was a silhouette of Bubba, I believe, maybe it was the Bigfoot, and it was inside of a Bigfoot. That was the whole cover, basically.
Yeah.
Other than the text.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an emblem, a symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because if you're going to have a human being's face on the cover, it either needs to look like what the character looks like, or it needs to not be a human being's face. Because so much of the time, you'll see 3D art or GIMP art covers, GIMP's a program,
They look cartoon-like or unrealistic.
Yeah, they don't look realistic. It looks like they tried to be. It looks like a 2005 video game character.
Yeah.
And that's what you're not looking for. Either be highly stylized, or be highly realistic, but
that
don't go
amateurish.
halfway.
Right.
Yeah, don't look amateurish.
Yeah.
I send our cover artists to the Apex and Tor.com websites. I love the covers that those companies produce because they are that stylized, emblematic cover, and they're gorgeous covers, and they don't try to represent, this is the great big battle scene from the book. Because if you're not having John Picacio paint your cover, well, then try to just capture the feel of it. So I don't think that a good cover sells books. But I think a bad cover hurts sales.
Okay.
I think your cover needs to be good, it needs to be professional, and it needs to fit the genre. I don't think that it needs to look just like every other book in the genre. Right now we're at a time where every urban fantasy cover is a dude with glowing purple hands or glowing blue hands. And if I never see another cover like that, it'll be too soon.
Okay.
Because I've seen hundreds of them over the past 3 years. I've never done that with any of my covers because I want to look different. So I try to have covers that look supernatural or look magical in some way. But I try to not follow the trends so tightly that it looks like every other book.
Okay.
I want you to know that it's my book.
Which suggests the next question would be that do you use a style that can be seen from book to book to book to book to book?
I try to, yes.
Okay.
We try to tie books together in series with a particular style, and just
style of font or color combinations or
it's
framing?
more just an overall aesthetic.
Okay.
I try to get them to look like they fit together on a shelf. We just went back this year and rebranded the first two Quincy Harker Demon Hunter collections because those two books looked very different from the third and fourth collection. Now, if you look at the four of them together in a row, it's pretty obvious that they fit together. We did the same thing last year with Bubba the Monster Hunter. There's one design element that is seen on all four of the series covers. And that ties them together visually, even though they're very different colors. We also try to use the same font or the same font collections on the covers for a series.
Titles. Many publishers, they impose their will on titles despite the author's intent.
Too.
Okay. What is your thoughts on titles? I mean, as far as, does it need to be short? Does it need to be pithy? Does it need to be a pun? What's your approach to titles?
I would like for it to be short, typically, because I want people to be able to remember it, and the human brain can only remember so much data at a time. So if I also often rip off song titles for novella or book titles.
With a word twist or something?
No.
Okay.
Titles aren't.
Bubba the Monster Hunter,
Yes.
That's an engineered title. You worked on that one a while, I think.
About 30 seconds.
Maybe. Okay. But it's like, Monster Hunter sounds like a very serious, but Bubba?
They say right what you know.
Okay.
I'm a big fat redneck from North Carolina.
Okay. So you're the hero of this book.
He's way bigger and way tougher than me.
Okay.
I'm a little bit smarter than him.
Okay. But still, titles is a serious business.
It is. The book I just released yesterday is called Carl Perkins' Cadillac. That doesn't sound like a science fiction or fantasy book.
No, not really.
But if you know music, you know that Carl Perkins was the founder of Sun Records. Sun Records is where
Elvis
got his start.
Yeah, right.
Well, the book takes place in Memphis, and Elvis is featured in the book.
Oh.
The pyramid in Memphis. Actually, no, Carl Perkins wasn't the founder of Sun Records. Carl Perkins recorded on Sun Records.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
I knew he was
Sam Phillips. But anyway.
Okay.
But
Erase
also,
that.
nah, I'm fine screwing up on video. It won't be the first time.
Okay.
Also, Carl Perkins' Cadillac is a song title by a band called the Drive-By Truckers.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I like the band, the Drive-By Truckers, and the former lead singer of Drive-By Truckers is one of my favorite songwriters. So I like music a lot. Music informs my writing, so I use a lot of song titles.
Oh, okay.
And you can't copyright a song title.
That's true.
So...
Yeah.
Even with the Bubba collection.
That's why there's so many songs named Power of Love that were went straight to number one.
The first Bubba collection was Scattered, Smothered, and Chunked. Because rednecks know Waffle House.
You know what that is?
Yeah. I get people at Comic Cons who would never stop and look at my titles, at my books. I know that. Hey, look at this. This book's called Scattered, Smothered, and Chunked. And I say, all right, so you know Waffle House. And I say, so they say, right, what you know. I know drinking. I know Waffle House. I know the South. I know how to blow shit up. I don't really know how to blow anything up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But it makes a good story.
It does. It's a good part of the pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably figure it out, but there's the internet.